Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are listening to today's Life After Her podcast with yours truly, Nicole and Sweeney. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in for yet another Life After Her podcast episode. We are officially in week number 39, and today's episode 39 is entitled The Letter. You guys have been almost rocking out with me for, I want to say, maybe close to 7, 8 months, maybe longer, because we're wrapping up probably November, December. So continue to stay tuned, and I hope that you are enjoying each of these episodes. If you have not checked out last week's episode, number 38, entitled Trials and Triumph, please do check that out. I have my sister friends come on there and share a little bit about their experience with life after her. Before I go into today's podcast episode, I want to share an experience that I recently had. The other day, I went to go see Sight and Sound, and I went to see the book of Queen Esther. Esther specifically is in the Bible, it's a book in the Bible. And so I went with one of my sister friends, Treasure, and this was my first time experiencing the Sight and Sound play. Now, I am not endorsing Sight and Sound at all, but I wanted to share my experience with all of you. If you have not read the book of Esther, which is a phenomenal story in the Bible, I encourage you to go and read that book. So, long story short, a young lady becomes queen, and she eventually talks to her husband, the king, and asks him for his permission to save her community. And she does this by being guided by her cousin, Mordecai, while there are other things going on in the story with someone trying to kill Mordecai. And it's a very, very great story, long story. But long story short is that she uses her platform, her ability to save her community. And one of the things I actually extracted from the story was that Queen Esther was a legacy builder. Not only was she a legacy builder, but God was using her to save her community. And that stuck with me the entire time watching the play. I want to encourage you and remind you that you are a legacy builder. And while Queen Esther was the queen, right, she had so many pressures coming from different angles to save her community, save her family, save herself, while also being a queen, while also trying to stay true to who she was. And so I encourage you guys to continue to be a legacy builder. God has designed you for a reason. And although there will be pressures in your life, never let that change who you are. So I wanted to share that with you. So be encouraged. You are a legacy builder. Now, today's episode, The Letter. Now, Journee is so excited in her life right now because she has officially graduated college. It was a tough road getting to that place. So one particular weekend, she actually goes back home to a church event for the youth and young adult at Grace and Mercy Baptist Church that Khase was actually hosting because he was overseeing the youth and young adult ministry at the church. She goes to the event, but Journee felt so uneasy about what was going on. And let me give you a little bit of background about what was going on. So Journey and Izzy had actually stopped talking because of Case. And Journey just did not know all the things that was going on back home. So when she came to the church for that weekend, she just felt uncomfortable, very uneasy about the things that was going on. And the energy was just off, right? Have you ever walked into a place or went to an event where you knew people and things were not the same or like it used to be, and something just felt off? That is exactly how Journey felt. So Journey went to the event. It was a powerful experience in the Lord. When the event was over, y'all, it got ugly for Journey and Case. So Case decided to walk the young lady Eva to her car. Side note, this was the same young lady that Case had been with during the birthday party when Journey had called him. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to 2 episodes to find out what was going on. So he walks us to the car, and Journey immediately is just upset and baffled and could not understand why he could not leave this young lady alone. Journey had become very upset and she felt extremely betrayed. She just didn't understand why Case continued to disregard her feelings and the relationship that they had together. So Journey and Case had a small conversation about it. Journey just could not bring to words how she felt. So he drops her off at home, and then Journey goes to her bedroom and begins to cry. She is so hurt, she begins to cry. She lays down in bed, she gets tissue, she wipes her tears, and then she decides that she is going to write. She was tired of hurting, so she grabbed a pen to begin writing. She let her pen do the talking because Journey just didn't have the voice she needed to express how she felt in that moment. So that is all I am going to share with you all today for today's podcast episode number 39, entitled The Letter. So go and get your copy to find out what Journey writes about in the letter, and find out what Case says once he received the letter as well. It's more details in the book, so make sure you guys go and grab it. And today's podcast episode for today is You Are a Legacy Builder. Do not let anyone or anything change who God has designed you to be. There will be so many pressures in life, so many negative experiences that chip away at who God is calling you to be. Don't ever let that change who God is molding you and designing you to be. It is so easy to be changed by hurt, devastating experiences, to no longer open your heart. It is so easy to do that, or to fall into depression or negative mindset, or have a woe is me mentality. But just know that God has built you to be a legacy builder. So do not let anything change who you are. Just like the story of Queen Esther, she had so many things coming at her, and anything in those various moments she was experiencing could have changed her. She could have given up. She could have thrown in the towel. She could have said, forget all of this and forget everyone. But she knew the assignment that was on her life. So whenever you feel like throwing in the towel and giving up, just be reminded that you are a legacy builder, and nothing or anything can change who God is designing you to be. All right, guys. I look forward to seeing you in next week's podcast episode. And remember that God is proud of you. Take care. Good night.